And perfect timing, and
Look
as
at
our
this.
guest is here, Dominick
The new
Cruz,
bantamweight champ.
and he's got the belt.
Come on in.
Get in here. Get in here.
Cruz. Come sit right here.
Wow.
Nice.
Congratulations. There you go. Throw that on. Yep. Can I touch this? Oh, holy
Dude, that's so wild. We're so freaking proud of you.
Feel how heavy that is.
Awesome.
Have you felt the love here at Fox?
More than anywhere.
Right?
Here, throw
because
that on
everyone,
first
you know,
then.
the
Here,
thing
let me throw
is, this is wild, man. This is so cool. Oh my God, this is so freaking wild.
I have felt the love here, though. Especially you guys. You guys always got so much dang energy. How much coffee do you drink a day?
We
It's all
drink
this,
these,
right?
the yerba mates.
This yerba mates, Dom, you got to get into this
The
stuff.
ad placement in this discussion is incredible.
We wish.
I know.
We
sorry.
wish.
No, sorry, because he's with another company. So.
So
let's do this right.
so I kind of threw him under the bus there.
No.
didn't I?
No.
Oh, okay.
They
put
don't
this
give us
down
any
here.
money at
Hey,
all.
man, did you cut your hair?
I did.
You look like that CNN guy with the real
Anderson Cooper?
I think.
All
have you heard
right.
that before?
Got the Anderson
Very
Cooper
Andy
going
Cooper.
on.
You even got the sit down and everything.
Yeah.
man.
Thank you very much.
Man,
Do you
it's
think
pretty
Dan
good.
looks like a hipster now, Dom?
He needs more of a beard.
Yeah, I hate
He needs a beard.
hipsters.
If he had a
hates
beard, he
hipsters.
could do it, though.
He really hates
Great to
beard-
see you. We've missed you.
You know what? I'm not going to lie. To be a hipster, you do need to rough those boots up a little, though.
Yeah.
That too. But
No, they wear
slick.
like cowboy boots.
yeah, but I mean, the hipsters got those boots that look like they dug a hole and then they're brand new. Actually,
Yeah.
it's weird.
They go for the. I paid a lot of
so
money for
true.
these clothes, but I look homeless.
It's a weird thing.
But like honestly, after you won the belt on Sunday, that's all everyone was talking about was you, because everyone, you're like part of the family, and so it's like so exciting for us. It was the same with Daniel Cormier. Like when he won the belt, it was like our guy won the belt. Like it's so exciting. So it must be amazing to come back. It's like doing a victory lap here now.
You know it is. It's just like that. I mean, especially I wasn't invited into this show until I won a belt. So now that I won a belt, here I am with you guys. You know, go figure. So I feel the love. But when DC won, though, I kind of felt like I was like just so pumped for him because I knew him on a personal level. We worked together. And then I get to see him do something different and win in that. It's just nice when you can be a part of somebody's life when they're actually doing things and winning. You
Yes.
know? It's just nice to be a part of that. It doesn't matter who you are.
And the journey you took to get there on Sunday night, did it finally hit you? Did it hit you in the octagon? Did it hit you in your hotel room after? When did it hit you saying like, holy shit, I did it?
It's funny you say that because honestly, it didn't hit me until I got back to the hotel room. And it really can't hit you until you can kind of be alone.
Yeah.
Like when there's a lot of stuff going on, you're still kind of in adrenaline mode. Like I couldn't sleep until like 8 in the morning the next day. Like I just couldn't sleep. It's the craziest come down from something like that I can't even explain. But it hit me a little bit and I got a little tears in my eyes that I couldn't believe it actually. Like it doesn't really hit you until you realize you have the day off. You know, like I get tomorrow off.
You don't have to train.
I don't have to get up and run sprints. I don't have to get up and get punched in the face. I don't have 6 guys that hate me with a bounty on my head that want to kill me to try to prove they're better than the champion.
Mm-hmm.
I get to just wake up in the morning whatever time I want. If I want coffee, I can have it, but I don't need it to get through a workout. And it's just good. Have as much water as I want. Eat as much salt as I want. Have as much cake as I want.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just, that's when it hits you, is when you're just kind of free for a few days.
It's all about the cake. The lead in.
Ask Daniel, right?
Oh yeah, exactly. Daniel, he's so sweet, you know. But you know when he's not training, it's like he's eating a lot.
Oh, there's no question.
He's scarfing a
we've
lot
got.
of food.
I'm sure that they've got 2 different sets of closets for his suit wear. You know what I mean? He's got in camp Daniel Cormier
Right.
sizes,
Right.
and then out of camp Daniel Cormier sizes. No question.
And Dom, the ratings came out.
Oh,
Oh,
my
my God. You must. Did you see those?
Hands go up in the air.
Yeah. You're
And I
the
just, you know,
you're the
it's
savior
awesome.
of this network. You're carrying all of us at this point. It's true.
I mean, I'll take that. Okay, you know, I'll take that.
But
no,
you-
I needed it. I needed it. I've been out so long.
Yeah.
I needed to do that. I needed to make a splash and show people that I'm here and I wasn't going anywhere.
But you pumped it up so well in the trash talk before when you guys were sitting with John
With
Anik.
John.
And TJ just had nothing to come back with. You were just like, okay, give me some points. You say you're going to beat me, but how?
This is the thing. Everybody made me out to be some kind of trash talking bad guy in that, but he didn't take any of the opportunity to do it to me that I gave him. It's like
The way it came across was that he just had nothing in
that's
his
what
head.
I tried to explain to him, and that's what I tried to explain to everybody else. You know, like you either, if I punch him in the face in the fight, he wanted to punch me back, right? And he had an answer. Well, if you ask him an intelligent question, there's no intelligent answer.
What you're saying is he's not going to be working with us at FS1 anytime soon.
I don't think anybody from that Alpha Male crew has that opportunity, or I don't even think they could really sit above the desk, most of them, especially Faber.
And then you finish the fight. This is the most amazing thing to me. You finish this grueling 5-round fight, and you guys are both incredible. And then you get on set and analyze your own fight. And everyone on Twitter is like, what? Who is this guy? What other sport does this happen in? It doesn't. It doesn't happen in any other sport. How did you even the wherewithal just to think about what you had just done?
Oh, man. It was cool. I thought it was so awesome to be able to do that. Like, to be able to come to my other job after my job
It was
and do
awesome.
my other job. Like,
It was awesome.
And that's a blessing in disguise. Like you said, not a lot of other sports will you see that ever.
Yeah.
And I think that's because the only reason I was able to have that opportunity is, you know, people might not agree with me, but this is how I see it because I believe in my higher power is God. But he took me out of this sport to give me new opportunities. If I wouldn't have gotten hurt, I wouldn't have understood this portion of my life, which is, you know, being on TV, analyzing fights, working with Fox, working with you guys.
And you're amazing at analyzing fights.
And that's a blessing. You know, I wouldn't have ever known that if I wouldn't have gotten hurt.
Right.
And so now I can do both jobs equally as well.
Right.
And that's a blessing. And I would have never had that without, you know, being able to see the bright side of things with my injuries. And here I am fighting now, and I still get that cherry on top of my life, but I also have a job that I can do, and I get to see you guys' handsome mugs every few weekends.
No question
the
about
thing
that.
about
We are
working with
handsome.
you, though, I was explaining to a buddy I was watching the fight with, and I said, here's how Dom is. You would come over to us after you guys taped a segment in the studio, and you'd ask us about our show, saying, like, why did you say this then? Like, you were interested in how we did our show. It's this, like, you're a student of everything that you're involved in.
You know, I truly believe that you guys are kind of old, so like I got to take your advice. You know what I mean? First of all, but
We're getting up there.
just
Dave
kidding.
Coelho, our talent booker, literally described Dan as the old guy last week.
Yeah.
But that being said, old or not, I got to pick your guys' brain. You guys have been in this business a long time.
We have.
You guys understand it, and you're so fluent, and you're just so calm and got energy up there, and it's very, very organic with you guys and the way you guys work together. So I see that, and I go, man, these guys they've tricked Fox into keeping them for how long? So I got to figure something. I got to figure out what they're doing. You know what I mean? I got to see what these guys are like. I mean, you guys, I don't know how X-rated I can get on this show, but you guys,
go for it.
you guys might be doing some
We've been
or something.
That
I
was
don't know.
early in the career.
Okay.
And then
You
when
waited.
initially hired us, we both them. And then no? Or is that just me?
Oh, well, I'm gonna say it was you, man, because you got the red face over here. He's licking his lips real weird. It's creeping me out.
But every time he says
Stop
something, I'm
putting
like,
on lip
oh,
gloss.
God. I'm like, we're gonna get fired now. That's the one that we get fired
That's
over.
it. That's the one we
And then
finally
I
get
send-
deported
Then
for.
I send Mike an email after. I'm like, can you beep out that whole section?
I might do that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Oh,
so now, and you came in with the walking cast. So,
Yeah, it's just a little boot. You
Yep.
know? You know, it's no hipster boot, but it's a boot. And
Yeah, because you said your foot was in two pieces.
well, this is what it felt like during the time I have a partial tear in my plantar fascia. I don't know if anybody knows what that is. In English, it's basically a tendon that runs along the arch of your foot that connects to your heel.
And
Right.
it's hard to heal.
Yeah, it is. You get it a lot. Football players get it a lot, actually, quarterbacks, because they plant on that back foot before they fire the football, right? Runners get it because they're always on their feet. I get it because I do tons and tons and tons of footwork drills to get my movement where I need to be. And because of that, it's just put a wear and tear on my heel. But it'll heal quickly. There's no surgery, and there's just limited rehab I got to do. So I'm in a boot just to keep it from moving, so I don't got to flex it, and that'll allow the fibers to connect back to the heel.
Right.
Once the fibers connect in like 2 or 3 weeks in this boot, then I do a little bit of rehab. I should be back in no more than six weeks or so.
So
That's
take
nothing.
us through the next year. Ideally, in your mind, who do you want to fight, and how often do you want to fight?
I want to fight as much as I can. Let me get through this 6 to 8 weeks,
Right.
You know, which is nothing compared to what I've been through. I'm super ecstatic that I have no injuries after this fight. My body feels great, other than my foot, and that's just nothing for me. So after that, I'd like to be able to take the fight that the fans want to see. You know, I mean, I look at the 135-pound division, and it's looking really good.
It is.
But there's not a lot of guys that people are in high demand to want to see. I mean, you look at Conor McGregor, and anything he says goes viral, basically.
Yep.
People want to see that guy, right? I can't think of one person near that capability other than Faber, unfortunately, and only Faber because there's a 10-year gap that we have of just not liking each other.
Right.
And it's real. And he doesn't like me, and I don't like him, and we were supposed to fight each other anyways, and he got out of a butt whooping and ended up taking it from Barao anyways. So I'd love to come and shut him up. He's never touched this belt. I won't let him, and I'd love to be a part of that 2 times for him.
That would be amazing.
As far as TJ's, or would you rather have TJ and Urijah fight first for the right to fight?
You know, they could do that, but the thing is, I don't think Faber can beat TJ.
Whoa.
I don't think he can, but I think that TJ, while he came and threw down with me, he also doesn't spike any kind of people wanting, like, they want to see him fight because he can fight, but I mean, I begged that guy to just say 5 words to me, and he just turned away and said, "I'm not here to talk." And it's like, man, we didn't come in front of the camera to be silent. Like, nobody wants to see you sit here and look at the wall.
I didn't come to this interview to talk.
But that's so much. That's such a huge part of it. It's like you said with Conor,
it
right?
is,
You
man.
have to sell the sport and sell your division, right?
Right, and
I mean,
these are exact words from TJ. That just disappointed me in him because you're the champion when I was gone. You need to do this portion of the game, man.
Yeah.
This is where the game is. He said, I don't like what Conor McGregor did. He made it so we have to work harder as athletes and talk a bunch of trash in order. That's what people want to see now. Like, man, that's been there the entire time, genius.
Yes,
and that's every
Muhammad
fight.
Ali.
Yes,
Right.
thank you. Since how long has
Yes.
and that's why he's one of my
So
favorite.
your thoughts on McGregor then?
I mean, you got to love what he's doing. Look what he's doing.
Exactly.
Look at what he's doing. You can be a hater, or you can just appreciate the gifts of certain people. You know, he's got the gift of gab. The guy likes to talk.
And he's backed it up.
He loves himself more than anybody I've ever known than I've ever heard talk in my entire life. Like, he literally has to hug and kiss himself every single night.
Well, his quote today was, I think, "I'm good with God. I'm good with all the gods because gods respect gods."
Point taken. And you see what I mean. Like, most people can't even think to say something so loving to themselves, but he wakes up and says it in the morning, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know, pats himself on the back, puts his sunglasses on, looks at himself in his own glasses and says, "Damn, you're handsome." I could picture it, but that's what people want to see, because why? People want to be able to relate to somebody who can say that about themselves so they can believe it about themselves and not feel bad about it.
And he's easy
Makes
to hate
sense.
because the people that hate him so much.
Yeah,
true.
and then you want to, so you either hate him to death and you want to see him lose, or you love him because he gives you confidence to be confident in yourself. So it's a win-win situation. Then you got certain guys who say, "I'm not here to talk, I'm here to be a martial artist," and then when they lose, they want to talk.
Yeah, right.
Like, wait a second,
Yeah.
something's off here. I think now you're trying to talk because you want to talk yourself into something. When you had something, you didn't want to put anything on the table to gamble. You got to put something on the table to gamble.
And
That's
I
what
love
people want to see.
Conor, when Conor finishes the fight, like when he fought Aldo, he had a ton of respect for him in the ring after the fight was over, which
Right.
is such a classic way to do it, right?
Yeah, I
It's
mean, let's be real. We're here
Yeah.
to fight.
Yeah.
I'm not here to, like, pat you on the back and bow to you and call you a martial artist. I'm here to beat the hell out of you. I'm here to beat the hell out of you. And
Yep.
if you think it's a game, you're in the wrong. I'm not playing with you, man. I'm gonna hurt you.
When you think back to your fight, especially Sunday night, do you have a photographic memory of the fight where where it just replays in your head, or no?
I mean, you remember, like, small little bits and chunks of it, but really no way. I mean, it's a whirlwind in there, man. And to be honest, it's all like reaction and instinct in there. So I didn't remember anything until I got to see it. As awesome as it is, I got to see it on the plane ride home on Fox Sports, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, this is a trip. Because when
And
I used to fight, I mean, Fox wasn't covering the sport when I fought.
Right.
It was, I fought on Versus, you know what I mean? So
God,
it's like
garbage.
and nobody even knew who I was, and nobody cared
Yeah.
that I was fighting what is now called the #1 pound-for-pound fighter on the planet. The people I beat to get to where I'm at today, nobody cared about then in the sport. And now you look at my record and it's like, wow, he's already beaten the best of the best in the sport. And now people see it because I'm here now and the coverage is on the sport. So to be a part of the sport now is like a dream come true because this is what I wanted 4 years ago, but it just wasn't there.
So you're watching the fight on the plane. Are you watching and say, I screwed up there. I screwed up there?
Definitely. I mean, you can't help it. That wasn't the best me. That was the best me for that night. That was the best me for a year off, 3 ACL surgeries, a torn groin. But I can absolutely look better. I've looked better in past fights, I think. I shouldn't have made the 5th round as close as it was, and I'm not going to make excuses. I should have won that round outright. I had the cardio. I had the will. No excuses. Just my foot, my mobility was down a little because of my foot.
But when you say your cardio, you had the cardio, but how exhausted are you between that 4th and 5th round?
You're too mad to be tired.
Right.
You were
really?
I was too angry to be tired, man. I swear to God I was.
But
I just wanted to hurt him.
Yeah.
They kept saying during the fight that they thought you were breathing hard. Were you?
Let's look at all my fights. If you do any research, which obviously they didn't, otherwise they wouldn't have said that. I do research before I break down fights. I do research before I do color commentary. So I know what the fighter's capable of and what they do in their habits. Obviously, they didn't see this because I do this every single one of my fights, and I never, ever get tired. I take deep breaths. Forgive me for taking a deep breath in the middle of a fight. I guess I'm tired, huh? I mean, let's be real here. You got to take a deep breath in, and I think that fighters don't do it enough. Take a deep breath, get all the oxygen into your lungs, and then that dissipates and goes to all the muscles in your body, and that's a reset button for me. That's a rhythm for me.
Can we get your thoughts before we get to rapid fire? Do you think Ronda has a shot against Holly if they do a rematch?
Absolutely not.
No.
Wow.
No, I don't. I think that Ronda is one of the greatest women that ever competed in the sport. But I think Holly Holm's at another level, and she's the evolution of the sport. And I think that Holly Holm has too much footwork and too much striking and too much knowledge of striking and footwork to allow there to be any kind of grappling exchanges in a fight with Ronda Rousey or Miesha Tate or anybody else in the division. And that's a problem for everybody in the division.
Isn't it funny how it was a problem before with Ronda? Like, who's going to beat Ronda? Now it's like, who's going to beat Holly now?
Well, this is the thing. When you see them matched up, you see the difference in levels of athleticism and capability in an actual fight. Ronda's been able to go out and girls underhook her instead of pushing away and creating pummeling effects. Like, first thing Holly Holm did was she had a good coach. They gave her good understanding of what she needed to do, and Ronda went to grab her because Ronda got the chance to grab her a couple times, and in every single other fight with Ronda, the girls grab her right back. And that is the last thing you want to do with the black belt in judoka. You need to pummel inside, get your elbows in, keep the space, and separate. Force Ronda Rousey to strike. That's all anybody had to do against her. Anybody in the sport. Nobody did it once until Holly Holm. Not one time did somebody try to not clinch Ronda Rousey back.
So you said, obviously, Miesha can't beat Holly.
I don't see it at all.
Could Miesha now beat Ronda?
I don't think so because Miesha Tate still grapples.
Yeah.
She still grapples. Even Miesha Tate, when she had a chance to, because she has the wrestling background, she had the chance to pummel out of the clinch of Ronda and she knows how to do it. But she got so emotional, she tried to headlock her. What are you trying to headlock her for? Just separate and make the girl punch. You make Ronda punch, you see what she has and where she's at. She doesn't have an entire lifetime in boxing. She has an entire lifetime in clinching. So stop clinching her. Make her box. Regardless of how good you think you are at grappling, what is the point? Like, why do that?
Rapid fire is our favorite segment.
So great.
Where we send out a tweet, and then our Twitter followers send in questions for our guests. So this is handled by Mike.
And Facebook.
Rapid fire.
All right, first one's from Matt Morton.
Pretty impressive, right? That little intro there.
That was clean.
Yeah.
Rapid fire.
That's the best we can do.
Reminds me of like Gallagher or something, like an old Gallagher game.
We need some watermelons.
Best arena or country to fight in?
Oh.
Good question. I love fighting in Vegas, personally speaking. I mean,
Fight capital of the world.
Yeah, it's close. It's home. Everybody shows up. Every single friend you has wants to go to Vegas and wants an excuse to go to Vegas. And it's just always crazy right after, too.
Did you guys party after Sunday night, or was it more low-key?
No, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. In Vegas, you can go out.
Yeah.
But I didn't get even home from the place until 4 a.m. At 4 a.m., no, you're lucky to have anybody in your room that wants to high five you at that time, you know? So, no, it was done by the time I got home.
And if they are up at 4 a.m., you want nothing to do with them.
Generally speaking,
Yeah.
yeah, especially me after a fight, I was just looking at him like, really, you're still here?
Here's an idea. Jim, you, me, and Dan will all go to Jumbo's Clown Room after the show tonight. We'll
Really?
wrap it up. Yeah.
Are you guys' wives going to let you do that?
It doesn't matter.
I mean, they're going to hear on this show.
It's fun. No, they're not paying attention to that.
I don't want to get you guys in trouble, you know. Come on. You guys are older gentlemen. The wives have you check. The wives run your lives by this point.
Oh, yeah, big time.
So, I mean,
big time.
Let's not try to play the tough guy act. You'd be
No.
screwed.
Hey,
I get one night out a month, and I would sacrifice that night.
My wife's
And,
used to it. She's used to it.
and my wife thing is, so
You just got to cook for a few nights, huh?
There it is. Yeah.
it's
Cooking for a few nights. All right, next question.
Yeah, next question. This is from Caesar Cruz. Favorite fight movie and why?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Fist, Man with an Iron Fist.
never seen that.
It's a weird movie. It's amazing. But I like comics. If you ever read comics and stuff, the movie is played like a comic, and it's got a pro wrestler in it. I can't remember his name, and Jet Li, I believe, is in it. And it's just a martial arts movie. Check it out.
Did you like The Wrestler? Did you see The Wrestler?
I did.
Great
and
movie.
that was a good
It's a
movie.
great
But
flick.
that just
Kind of depressing.
it hurt my soul.
Yeah, I know. Very
And
depressing.
Mickey Rourke, I mean, he still looks kind of like that.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
It's a lot worse.
I feel like, yeah, that was like
That was the perfect part for him.
it
was.
really was. But you think about all those guys you grew up watching in the WWF or WWE. So many of them ended up like that, in a trailer park with nothing.
It's
right?
funny you say that because one of my first experiences with a guy that reminded me of that timeline that you're talking about, like the wrestler, is when I sparred Don Fry. You guys know who Don Fry is?
No.
One of the first, all-time veterans of the UFC. Amazing guy. I still respect him to this day, but he scared the crap out of me. I mean, he's 250 pounds, and I was just a kid just getting started, and he's like, let's get over there. We're sparring. And that's how he talks. I mean, he's a scary guy. You got to look him up after this. It's insane.
We need to get him on the pod.
He ends up, you do.
Yeah.
You would hear the most crazy things out of his mouth. He literally goes, we're sparring, then turns around, gets into his bag, throws 2 Vicodin in his mouth, starts chewing them.
What
Oh
the?
my God.
And I'm looking at this guy like, this guy's a vet. Like, is this what my future's looking like?
yeah.
Like, I don't want to chew Vicodin. When I get down to this sport. Like, you know what?
Unless I want to do it on my own time.
Right.
Jumbo's Clown Room.
But he had to
Jane
do it
Dan.
to spar my little butt. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
to get going. And just that's his warm up. Like, no
Yeah.
jumping rope, just 2 Vicodin and go.
Oh.
And I was like, I need to really move my feet and not get hit a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
It's like hearing Antoine Randall L., who's just like a great wide receiver in the NFL forever, say this week that he wishes he never played football because he can't remember anything.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
He said that.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
And did you ask him how much money he has in his account?
Well, I mean, that's the thing, though. I think he
Doesn't care.
Doesn't care. Doesn't have his
but,
health.
but he
right?
never
Quality
had
of
to
life.
live broke, did he?
Well, that's true.
So
yeah,
let's
could
think
be
about
worse.
that.
Could be worse.
Let's
That's
think
a good
about
point.
that.
Could be Mickey Rourke in a trailer park.
Mike, next.
Yeah, this is from Succo. What is your favorite go-to meal after a fight?
Hey.
Good question, too. It depends on my mood at the time. Usually, I like a donut. But if we're talking about a whole meal,
Wait, just one donut? And they bring it on a white
well,
plate?
you can't eat that much after you diet,
Yeah,
man.
I
Like a
guess
donut
so.
makes you feel like you ate a feast. Like you're
So
so,
much sugar.
full after that. But
Yeah.
any meal, it would be a carne asada chimichanga with sour cream, red sauce, and guacamole. Oh
I
my
like
gosh.
that. Very specific. I like
What do
that.
Beans and
you-
rice.
What do you do right after you weigh in?
So good. Well, I had like this coconut. Like, first of all, after you weigh in, before you weigh in, you have like this huge list of things that you want, and you're staring at them and you're petting them before the weigh in. It's like literally petting them. Like, it's a serious thing. Like licking the cans because there's the little water droplets on the side, and you're so thirsty. And then after I weighed in, I get this coconut and I chug the coconut, and you're just like, it feels like you swallowed a bowling ball. You're so full that everything goes out of your brain and you just want your stomach to stop hurting. Maybe you just haven't drank or ate anything in a couple days and it just goes away. So all I want is water. Like
Yeah.
you are so far beyond hunger because you're how thirsty you are that you just want water and coconut juice.
Before you weigh in, how many times that morning, or if it takes place in an afternoon, do you step on a scale?
You try not to trick yourself. That's actually a trick that you learn as a veteran later is stop weighing yourself because you're going to panic. The less you weigh yourself, the better you're going to be because the best time to weigh yourself is first thing in the morning when you wake up. Because every time you weigh yourself at night, you have a panic attack because you're heavier than you're going to wake up in the morning. But then when you wake up in the morning, that's as light as you're going to be. You peed everything out. Your cycle starts all over every single morning before you eat anything. You check your weight. That's your weight.
Right.
And that's the best time to do it. So try not to check too much. Anybody who's
Good
listening.
advice for all of us trying to lose weight.
All right, one more. This is from Kyle Graves. What sport do you follow most outside of MMA?
Football. Definitely football. I love
Who's your team?
I love football. Right now, I'm loving Arizona. I love the Chargers, but they're gone now.
Oh, yeah, because you're a San Diego guy.
Gosh, man, it's
talk
pretty
about
sad.
this. How devastating is this for you and for everyone in San Diego?
It's mixed feelings because San Diego needs champions. I'm a champion. I'm in San Diego. Okay.
So they're fine.
Yeah, like
they
it's
lose to the
okay. You know,
Chargers.
like we lose the Chargers, we gain a world champion
That
in
makes
the
sense.
fastest growing sport in the world. Give me some love.
It's decent.
You know, why not?
You, Phil Mickelson, and the Padres. That's all they need.
What else do they need? Phil Mickelson makes a lot. And Phil Mickelson could pay me. He makes so much money.
He has a lot
just
of
for no
scratch.
reason.
That's just to hang out with him.
Dominic, we can't thank you enough for coming in.
Yeah,
and,
this is awesome.
Bringing the belt in. And by the way, we have two champions on the Fox roster, both with the same initials, DC.
I know. I thought about that. I was like, man, I couldn't even be DC if I wanted to because DC's already three of me. You know? It's like,
These
just not
DC
fair.
weight jokes are fantastic.
I'm the only one who could do it.
I know,
But
we
I'm
can't
the
do
only
it.
one he could eat in one bite. That's
Yeah.
the weird thing.
Oh, and when you made that comment to Kenny in the ring, has he got back to you since?
Oh, yeah.
You know, I like Kenny. I don't want to bash the guy. That was a joke, and it just blew up because I'm.
You could tell it was a joke.
It was, but he was pretty mad at me. He said I had no class. He texted me and said, "You have no class. I thought you did, but you don't." And I was just like, "Oh, that hurt my heart, Kenny."
Yeah,
I was
he'll get
just
over
playing, man. If we were in a room and I said it, you'd laugh at me and make fun of my bad socks or something. But I guess on a national stage, it kind of has a little bit more.
Well,
to
you're
it.
right. It did take kind of a life of its own. And that's the only reason he got upset, because everyone was talking about
But
it.
it was funny.
It was funny.
It was. In the moment that you thought of it,
was
after
funny.
winning a belt, that's what made
Yeah.
it.
Well, I mean, he was the one guy who knows me in and out. This guy's worked with me as close as we are. He knows my mind. He knows my body. He knows how bad I want. He knows more than anybody.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes and in the scenes. And he kind of picked against me. So me being the competitive guy that I am with the competitive nature I have and, I think I could do his job a little bit better. I wanted to say something.
And you're in the moment, and you're full of adrenaline, and it happens.
Yeah, and
You'll
I
get
mean,
over it.
forgive me. I got punched in the head a little bit, okay? Shove a microphone and a camera in my face after or anybody,
Yeah.
for that matter. Let's hear what they have to say.
He'll be okay. We'll talk to him. We'll smooth it over.
I mean, at least I didn't say I broke my back, spinal. It could be that. I mean,
yeah.
like Tyson did that one time, and that's a Vine still to this day that was classic.
Dominick Cruz, thank you
This
so
is
much.
awesome.
The champion.
So proud of you, man. I just read today. Someone said this has to happen. UFC 200. You and Conor on the bill. What do you think?
I'd love that. When is that?
I don't know. I don't know.
What
these
UFC
saw-
are we
I
at?
saw-
What number are we at?
I think we're 70 something, maybe 170.
Oh
I think we're 194.
Yeah.
We're
There's two
Yeah.
UFCs.
194 in December. Right?
194. I'm down for that.
Yeah, that would
Okay,
be all
can we
right.
get back to cutting weight? So once you make your weight, do you just go to Golden Corral and go to town?
Just get the
You know,
fountain.
You'd like to, but unfortunately, it's a long process. So you have to let your stomach get used to having food in again. There's this whole process. So you don't have your big meal till about 8 or 9 after you've
Hit the scale.
started putting all the
Because
weight
you'll
on.
get sick.
Yeah, you get some electrolytes in and some sodium, and then you get a bunch of water. And then you get your first meal, and then you get some something easy to digest, and then you have your you like a little rest, and then you go have a big dinner. So it's a big process. I've put on anywhere from 18 to 22 pounds when I make 35 pounds, and 12 pounds or so when I'm making 145.
And what is your go-to? It's Golden Corral, isn't it? It's the
Uh,
nacho cheese fountain. You just bathe in it.
You know what? I have a home cooked meal that I've learned how to make, and I taught my buddy how to make. So it's just basically the first meal is ground turkey meat, either quinoa or potatoes, cilantro, salsa, sour cream, olives and just kind of have like little burritos, and then I'll go have a steak and potatoes at night.
That's very California. You
Very
are the
California.
California
That first meal
kid.
you
That's it.
described as the last meal I would ever choose.
And
my
nothing with
lifetime.
quinoa.
Quinoa or olives.
That's it. Yeah.
I see here. Oh, sorry, Dan.
Well, you're a healthy eater.
I am. I was raised. I mean, California. I was born in a house in Isla Vista, California, which you guys probably know is like the college town surrounding UC Santa Barbara. And there's a lot of parties there. Probably a lot of conceived kids there, but not many that are actually born in a house. So
Mostly
to
just born
midwives,
on a street.
Yeah. So I was like, my parents were super hippies, and healthy living and health food has been a big thing for me. No immunizations, no conventional medicine for most of my life, and
So is this drink we have every podcast?
Yeah, what do you think?
Is it killing us?
This yerba mate. Check the ingredients.
It's from Whole Foods.
I'm gonna have
so
to
that
call
means
my
it's-
managers and ask about this.
Okay, fair
I'm
enough.
joking.
Get back to us on
It's the
that
fusion
one.
of purified water, organic brewed herby mate, organic hibiscus flower, organic cane sugar.
It's all
Sounds all
organic.
good. It's okay.
Hey, that sounds good.
This seems pretty good.
Yes.
I mean, sugar, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. It's like however you want to take the sugar, or whatever you call it. I just like real sugar.
Like
you know.
just packets of sugar. You just
No,
pound them?
I mean just the fake stuff is the bad bad stuff.
Mexican Coke is better than American Coke, right?
Probably.
Yeah, it's got the good sugar in it. I got a line here. What is this? Got into a brawl against a group of guys while on vacation in Indonesia. What the hell happened
Are you
there?
allowed to tell this story?
2005, man. This is a long story. I'll give you the basic.
no,
No,
we
no,
got-
tell the
tell
long
it.
one.
It's a 10-minute story.
We
Yeah,
like 10-minute
perfect.
stories,
Love
and then,
10
and then you're out of
minutes.
here.
10-minuters, and then
Oh,
we'll get into
gosh.
rapid fire, and we'll let you head back to Sacktown.
All right, 2005. I'm fighting, but no one really knows the sport or me for that matter. And I'm in Indonesia, hanging out with two of my buddies. I just fought Charlie Valencia, so for the King of the Cage World Championship. And I'm just chilling out there and dancing with a couple chicks in this bar. My buddy had gone home sober because he is 8 months sober and he couldn't handle the environment.
Right.
Not that he's a sober guy. He's 4 years sober, but
Good job.
he had an issue. He
Congratulations.
had a problem. So he bounces and it's just me and I'm dancing with some chicks and whatnot, and some guy starts a fight with me, and I like blow the guy off, and he kind of persists. He's a local guy, and
You're on his turf.
He's standing close to me, and he's just just
Big
like,
guy, little guy. What?
Nah, he's bigger than me, but that's not saying much,
Right.
So so I'm like finally like, dude, what's your problem? He doesn't speak any English, but he's huffing up, and I go, does this guy want to walk outside? I go, what's your problem? And he's like, blah blah blah, saying something in whatever his language is. So I just start walking out, and I look behind me, and he's coming out too. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go fight this guy. I'm not scared of a fight, obviously. So I go out, and there's a little monument to these Australians that were bombed in this town. And then I go to the back alley, and I go, all right, dude, let's do this. Throw my hat off and square up. And I think the guy realizes that there's like zero intimidation or fear in me, which is probably a scary thing. He calls over to a bunch of locals that are working at like this parking lot, and they come over, and one guy speaks English, and he's like, what's going on here? I said, I don't know. This guy wants to fight me. I don't know what his problem is. I said, I'll do it, but it's got to be one-on-one. So they talk to him, blah, blah.
So now it's a negotiation.
Well, he doesn't speak English.
Right.
So then they put us on this little monument, and they let us fight. And
Whoa,
I beat the crap out of this guy.
They put you
Obviously.
on the
So
monument?
they put you on the monument.
Well, so
like
it's like it's like a 3-step up. Then there's like a fountain, and there's like a wall with everyone's names who had been killed in this bombing and whatnot. And I'm in the alley, and I'm like, let's go, getting ready to throw down.
you can
and-
swear all you want.
Okay, I'm like, let's go, mother. Throw my hat off and square up, and he's like, oh, this guy does not care about anything, So then the guys come over, and I'm like, oh crap! And I got a bunch of guys. So then I negotiate this one-on-one fight. So they put us on the okay, fine. They put us on this little V of a monument, and we throw down. Obviously, I beat the crap out of the guy. Ends up with me picking him up and dropping him on like a corner, like this, and he breaks his collarbone. So we get up, and the fight's over. I'm just wearing shorts, no underwear. No, I lost my sandals. I lost my hat. My shirt got ripped off, and I'm just like chilling, trying to find my stuff. And the guy's like, "Hey, you won. Now go." And the guy's walking around sulking like this,
You
and I'm
broke his
I'm trying to
collarbone.
find my shoes and my hat, And like probably like 2 minutes later, I get a thud in the back of my head, and the
Oh no.
guy hits me with brass knuckles in the back of the head, and I can just feel the blood start gushing, and I'm like, what the hell? So I turn around, and he's like, one by one. And I'm thinking, like, what the dude? I'm like, what the hell is that? I can see his things. He's like, one by one by one. I'm like, all right, man. So I square up, and two other buddies come. One grabs a rock, one grabs a bottle.
Jesus.
And so I grab the guy with the bottle, and I like grab the guy with the rock, and I'm like wrestling with them. Meanwhile, the other guy with the brass knuckles is rabbit punching me in the head. I got like 6 spots that I had to have sutured up that night. And so I finally like start running. I run back into Civilization, which is like 20 feet away, into the club. Well, I know these guys are bouncers, and I'm basically in a pair of shorts, covered in blood at this point because of the rabbit punches, and I'm running into the club thinking I'm safe, and all the bouncers are like, there's a crazy white dude covered in blood running into the thing. So I get caught on the dance floor, like on my back, and I'm getting like kicked by like 12 guys. Like people are like all around me. I'm getting kicked. So I somehow get up and run to the back of the thing, and there's like a little bit of room to breathe there. So I'm like ditching and diving. There's a bar here, there's a dance floor here, and there's like a seated area on the other side. So I'm back here like running around. There's some little stairs. I'm like hopping up and down, like trying to avoid people. And I get to this side and do a sprint because there's just a seated area. So there's like not a bunch of people there. Sprint to the front door, elbow shiver a guy out, at the front door, and I start running down the street like away, like I don't know where I'm going. I'm like, thank goodness my friends aren't with me because I'd probably have to stop and try to save them.
You say you were looking for your sandal. Like, are you in sandals or are you in bare feet at
I'm
this
barefoot.
point? Holy man.
I'm barefoot. And I mean, I have now from getting kicked on the floor, I had like a bunch of cuts and scrapes on my back, and I had like still a dent in the side of my hip from somebody kicking me. And so I'm running down the street, like away from Civilization, which is even scarier because I'm like, at least here there's like something going on. I'm getting in like little huts and stuff like that, like the further I go. So there's a Billabong shop, and they're paying people to sit in front of the door instead of putting an actual door on it because it's probably cheaper, right? So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Why
so
don't more
guys
people
like
do that
sitting
here?
there at the Billabong shop, and I'm like, recognize Billabong because I've been wearing Billabong since I was a little kid, and I'm like, like familiarity.
Sweet Billabong.
So I run in. And I'm like, the guys are like trying to stop me, like, get the out of my way, trying to
And you're
kill
like
me.
bloody. You're
I'm
like
bloody, covered in blood. I'm just sitting there in the back of the store, just like breathing, like just breathing, and in comes the guy with the brass knuckles. And now a guy's got this little shoe hammer. One of the guys, and there's like 3 of them coming again. And they're saying one by one. I'm like, these guys they're like really after me, So they come to the back of the store, and I'm like, please don't, and I hit the big one and just run again. This time I go back towards the club because I'm like, if I go that way, I'm into huts. If they catch me out like in their territory, I'm
That's
like
bad.
really bad, right? So I run back towards this way, get in front of the club, and
Back to the club.
jump in a taxi, and I'm screaming at the guy. And I remember because I almost went to the wrong side because the driver's side's the wrong side, right? So I was gonna go there, and I like last minute decision, get in.
And are they like right behind you at this point? Like, are they all these guys?
I don't know.
Right.
I'm just running. I'm like, feel like I'm gonna die, right? So I got like the lock is here and the handle's here on this car, and so I get in the car. And I'm like, go, 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 and the guy's freaking out because I'm bleeding all over his car. I'm like, money, money, money. I'll pay you. There's a car in front of us, so he's like freaking out with me, and then the car gets attacked. And so I like I'm like this. I go to the handle instead of the lock. The door gets ripped open. I'm leaning back and I'm like kicking people out this side. And then I'm leaning over on the driver. Next thing you know, somebody grabs me by the hair, and I'm like, oh, the driver's turned on me.
Oh my
I'm like,
God.
I'm done. I'm like, I'm like about to die. Which it wasn't scary. It was just sad, I'm like, fuck, I'm about to die.
Yeah. In
So like
Indonesia.
kicking the guy
In a taxi.
Yeah. And then what happened was a bunch of people started helping out.
Finally.
Taxi driver got out, and he pulled people off. He jumped back in, and we took off. And I went to the hospital, the little hospital. They thought I had a fractured skull, so they sent me to a different hospital, and I didn't have a fractured skull. I just had like 7 spots sutured on my head. I had like all the doctors had flip flops on. They were probably younger than I was, and yeah, so I got out of there. On the drive out to the first hospital, the guy was following me on a motorcycle, and I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing? I told the taxi driver to pull over. I'm like, pull over. He's like, hi. I said, pull over. So I get out and I go, what are you following me for?
Wait, you told him to get out?
This guy's following me. I'm like,
You want to
guys-
put an end to it.
Yeah, I'm like, this guy's not gonna follow me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll just take the bull by his horns here.
Right.
So I get out of the car and I'm like, I go, what's up? I just want to make sure you're okay. Where are you staying? I said, don't worry about it. Just get out of here. I'm fine. And he's like, okay, and like takes off. Then I was at the hospital, and then they brought me to the police station. The guy who was our tour guide who'd take my buddy home wanted justice, which only cost $50.
Oh, that's a good deal.
Yeah, $50 and we'll get justice, right? And he knows a guy in the military, and I'm like, dude, I just want to go home,
Oh
bro.
my God.
I just want to go to sleep. They want to get my story, and so like I'm in the police chief's like room, who's the police chief of wherever we're at in Indonesia, and there's another guy that came who was going to be a witness from the night before, and he's like on my side about what happened and this and that. They do a big lineup, and for $50 we're going to get justice, and he's like, have me pick someone, and I'm like, I have no idea. He's like, just pick one. And I'm like, no,
Oh my God.
I'm not going to pick one.
my
I just want to go home, right? And then they're telling me tell my story, and they're on one of those little computers with the screens all green, and they're like typing, and every time, like halfway through, poof, the electricity goes out, and they'd be like, oh, and then have me tell it again. So I finally got a piece of paper. I wrote down my whole story, which I still have, along with my X-rays, and then I was like, just take me home.
Holy man.
And the funniest part, I was in the sheriff's office, and the guy was in there, and the guy leaves, the police chief leaves, and I was tired. I'm in a towel because they had me shower and everything else, and I already only had a pair of shorts on. So I'm like, I cleared his desk off, and I laid down butt naked on his table with the towel on, and the guy's like, I can't believe you're laying down naked on the police chief's desk. I'm like, I'm just tired.
Indonesia.
I have so many questions.
Come for the hospitality, stay for the brass knuckles.
Yeah, who still
my
uses
They are actually
brass
very
knuckles?
nice people, man.
Yeah.
Who still uses brass knuckles?
That's a good question. I was just in Santa Barbara, and they had all the banned things on the wall, and there was brass knuckles on there, nunchucks and everything, switchblades. I'm like, dude, how do I get some of these?
Okay, and the first time you went back to the club and you're on the dance floor getting kicked, where were the two girls?
I think they were helping out.
Yeah.
Actually,
They're like, this
the
guy's
next
a
day-
terrible dancer.
actually, at the police station,
They were helping out.
no, they were helping pull people off. At the police station the
I
next
thought they
day.
were helping to kick
Oh,
you.
No.
I thought they were
No.
involved.
No,
I thought they were rabbit punching.
Right. So then I go and I basically go back to the police station. I think those girls were there, and one of them got a bottle broken, like a little mini riot broke out because people were trying to help, etc. One of them got a bottle broken over their head.
Oh,
Fun.
Nope.
And was one of them a cobbler because they had a shoe hammer? Where
Either-
do you find a shoe hammer in the middle of
in
a fight?
Indonesia?
in Indonesia.
They're trying to sell everything under the sun. They will try to sell you this piece of paper and the pen, if you whatever. So there are people making shoes on the street.
And,
This 2005.
I do like the idea of not having doors and just having someone stand in front of the door.
and finally, your buddy.
It's like the states that won't allow you to pump your own gas.
Right.
Like just
Or-
to create more jobs.
Or just like the greeters at Walmart,
Yeah.
but don't have a door. Just have the greeter out there.
and when you finally saw your buddy who bailed on the night, was he like, "Hey, what'd you do last night?"
I still make fun of him because he brought a tear to his eye. He saw me.
Oh,
I'm
man.
laid up in the
Oh
hospital.
yeah, like when he saw you for the first time, was he just like,
he
oh my
showed up
God?
at 10 o'clock and he's like, little tear. I still make fun of him. I'm like, you pussy.
All right, let's do rapid fire.
Rapid fire.
Rapid fire.
Okay, we have questions from the listeners. They've submitted questions for
Can
you.
I ask one
Ryan.
first?
Yeah,
I
sure.
have one. Anyone in your family who gets so squeamish about you getting hit during a fight that they can't watch you fight?
Yeah, my mom.
Your mom.
Yeah, she's never been to a fight, and she'll watch a fight after she knows the result and if I've won.
All right, and speaking of family, Daniel Giroux wants to know, is your dad Fabio?
My dad, Fabio. Fabio and I are actually the same age, although he's may look a little older than I am. No, he's not my he's not my dad.
Okay.
He's my jiu-jitsu coach.
Even
Yeah,
better.
my dad is Theodore.
Are we sure? Because crazy was going down in Santa Barbara back then.
We're not sure. No, we're not sure.
All right.
All right, next one's from Leslie Galay. Keeping it California, if Team Alpha Male were NWA, which member would you be?
No comment on that one.
Okay.
All right. Spencer Loeb wants to know, what's it like having Dana White as a boss?
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
Dana White's awesome. He's an emotional guy, but
Hold
I
on.
feel
What do you
like he's
mean by
good.
that? So when
he's an emotional guy. Like he's like Donald Trump. He says whatever the hell he wants.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Have
Right.
you ever not gotten along with him, or have you always gotten along?
Yeah,
with him?
there was a time when we didn't not get along, but I had to I'm a guy that always says what I want as well, and so there was a time where he was having like some sort of dispute with John Fitch, and it was just after I had lost a big 13-fight win streak, and he was like, "These fighters need to quit worrying about business." Fitch wouldn't sign this agreement to let him use his likeness for the video games or something like that.
Right.
So he was on this big rant, and I was on my local Carmichael Dave, our local radio guy, and he was asking Dana about Urijah, is he going to come back and blah, blah, this and that. And he's like, yeah, but all these guys, they need to just worry about fighting, not worry about business. And my dad told me about it, and that pissed me off because I was on a 13-fight win streak. And it had nothing to do with business. I got caught. I did like a back elbow and got caught with the right. So I called him, and I'm like, or I text him. I'm like, dude, way to kick a dude while he's down, et cetera, blah, blah. I didn't even hear this. My dad heard it. And he's like, what? I didn't say anything, blah, 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 this and that. And then he called my dad and apologized.
Oh, wow. That's
and
cool.
it was actually really cool about it. So he's a good dude, but I mean, he's real.
What do you think about the Reebok uniforms?
I have my own clothing line, which I'm not allowed to wear because I'm on a UFC press tour right now.
Right.
Torque1.net if you want to check it out.
Yep.
So it's rough for me because I'm one of the guys that has built a brand.
Right.
But I like the overall.
Like you're okay with the look and everything?
I'm okay with the look. I mean, it's not my style necessarily, but it's
Yeah.
not horrible. It's good quality stuff. I would say that, moving forward as a brand, I understand why the UFC would do something like that. And as a businessman, I understand that's their business, so they can do what they want. So for me, I have to find a different way to get my brand out there.
Okay.
All right. Saskatchewan Haiku wants to know, out of all the fighters in the UFC, who has the worst gas?
Worst gas? Holy
Probably a lot
smokes.
because there's a lot of protein being consumed.
Holy
In
smokes.
a short period of time.
And do some guys use that?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
no one
has anyone
uses
ever
that as
used
a
that?
tactic in the ring. Like,
I never have, and I would.
what about
hope not.
loading up on like garlic so you really stink in there? Do some
I've had
guys
some
do that?
stinky opponents before,
Yeah.
and I eat a lot of garlic, but I'm not. I like to think I don't stink, but which guy stinks and knows it?
That's a great
That's
point,
true.
too.
You know what I mean?
My one friend smells like a wet dog. I've
You ever told him that?
no, should I?
Do it.
Yes.
Let's tell him now. Let's call him up.
Let's call him up.
Joe Cavs wants to know, what kind of hair conditioner do you use?
I don't use conditioner because my hair's too soft. If I use conditioner, I can't manage it.
Plus, we can't use water in California right now.
Yeah, no
We have a
water.
drought.
Yeah, so we have to reuse that. No, I don't use conditioner. I use conditioner like every once in a while, but
Head and Shoulders?
I only wash my hair. No, not Head and Shoulders. No dandruff here.
Oh, you keep the wood dandruff away.
Exactly.
I don't have dandruff.
What,
So yeah, no conditioning. I don't condition my hair.
what's Sacramento like? Like, what's it like living there? It's such a nondescript sort of place. It seems it's the capital.
I love Sacramento.
Yeah?
I mean, it's got a good big enough city feel, and then you can get right out to the country. We've got some rivers and some awesome lakes. We've got seasons, but it never snows. We've got a little rainy season. We've got an awesome spring and an awesome fall. I think it's paradise.
Yeah, you're digging it.
I love all of California, to be honest, and we're a short flight to San Diego, a short flight to L.A., we're a short drive to Tahoe, a short drive to San Francisco, and then the northern coast is amazing, like Mendocino County. I have a building out in Point Arena, California, which is some of the most epic scenery you've ever seen.
California is great.
California's the
That's why it's
best.
the California
Yeah,
kid.
That's it, baby.
It's fun, right?
Santa Barbara, that's where my whole family is
Great
from.
town.
Amazing.
Beautiful town.
Amazing.
What's the best thing about being from California for you? Like, what's the thing you love the most?
I would say, I've been all over the world, and there's always something cool about every place. You go to Brazil, there's some cool stuff, but like the roads are all jacked up and the toilets suck. You go to Japan and it's like impossible to get around because everything's so small and the food's terrible. We're used to Japanese American food. You know what I mean? I would say a couple places that I really loved were Australia and Singapore. But the thing about California, which is awesome, is I feel like everyone's very about following their heart. I feel like in general, for some reason, people believe that they can do some amazing things, and they're a lot about health. And those are two things that I think really stand out. Like, people are thinking big here, and people enjoy being active and healthy.
Yeah, people are very active here because you don't have to sit inside during the winter.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Canada?
And you're not going to fit in if it's summertime, and
Yeah, you got to be in good shape, which is why I haven't really fit in.
95.
You're in good shape.
Oh,
It's like,
thanks, man.
like a toothpick.
Yeah.
95% of our listeners are
trying.
from Canada. So thoughts on Canada? You fought there a few times.
I like Canada, but you know what? I had an evading an officer from, or keeping an officer from duty. The only time I've gotten any kind of trouble with the law, like back after one of my fights, like in 2003, and so I actually spent a night in jail.
What?
Because of that?
Wait a minute. Was that in Quebec or was that?
That was in California.
Oh,
but
I
at the
see.
border, you go there. I went to go watch the George St. Pierre Matt Serra fight, and they're like, "Have you ever been arrested?" I was like, "I did get arrested one time in 2003 after whatever." "Oh, what happened there?" I said, my buddy's got in a fight, and some lady cop started running after us, and everybody took off, and I got in trouble from evading an officer from duty or whatever." I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, have a seat over there." 12 hours later,
You're
then
too honest.
Then they take you onto a paddy wagon, handcuffed. The most time I spent in captivity was in Canada because I tried to go watch a fight.
We just
So,
want to make
but
sure.
I will say,
we just want to check.
the
check
Canadian
it out.
people are awesome. I love the Canadian folks that I've come in contact
Sell
with.
out
and I've
every
been there.
event too.
I've been there quite a bit. I've fought there a couple times, and everyone's so friendly over there.
They are.
And they say some funny little things like "hey" and like "don't you know" and "how about," like
No,
what's it all about?
No doubt about it. Oh, one more. We got one more for you.
All right,
Uriah.
this next one's a would you rather. It comes from Scott
Uh-oh.
Douglas. Fight 40 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck.
Huh. Duck-sized horses. I would say, I guess the biggest tool a horse would have is to back up and kick you,
Yeah.
and that would be right on my shins. So I'm used to getting
And
kicked
with those
there.
big duck feet too.
I would not like to fight a big duck.
I'd go for.
I'm
the
going with the
40.
horses.
Yeah.
Can we clip that? I would not want to fight a big duck. We need to play that on every podcast from here on out. Uriah, we thank you for coming in.
My pleasure.
This is awesome.
New season of the Ultimate Fighter starts September 9th.
Yeah, September
That's
9th, 10 Eastern, FS1. Uriah and Connor are going against each other. It's USA versus Europe theme season. It's going to be terrific. You're a great man. Thank
Thanks,
you so
brother.
much.
Oh, one
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
You probably get it every time. Uriah, where's that come from?
That's from the Old Testament. It means the Lord is my light. It was Bathsheba was Uriah's chick, who King David stole and ended up getting her pregnant. And Uriah was like, "Bros before hoes. I'm not going to party with my chick when my buddies are at battle." So he got snuffed.
You've
But-
told that story a few times. haven't
He's
you?
a warrior
Yeah, that's awesome.
and a
Well,
ladies' man.
Well,
But
it's
he got
very
busy.
fitting.
Oh, thank you.
My
Thanks,
friend.
man.
Pleasure.
So long, my time.
Conor McGregor. This guy is a human tornado.
He's incredible. He's looking for the title. He's fighting Jose Aldo July the 11th, pay-per-view in Vegas. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring him in.
Conor McGregor, everybody.
Unbelievable.
Conor McGregor.
Unbelievable.
Come on in. There we go.
Unbelievable.
There we go.
Not
Nice
staged
to
at
meet you,
all.
man. Not
Great to see you, Connor.
Always looking
How
like
are
$1
ya?
million. Have a seat.
That's for you, sir.
He's messed it up.
So, Conor, this is your last thing to do today. You've been doing media since 5 a.m.
5 a.m.? Really?
Yeah, this is the business we are in, you know. So, but work pays, so
Are
I'm
you-
happy to be here.
But you're good at it. Do you like this kind of stuff, or after a while does it become tiresome for you and you wish you were just training?
I definitely prefer training, but I am getting better with it as it goes. It seems to me it's normal life now.
Nice.
It's normal.
Can I just ask you a quick question? You were a plumber before you became a fighter.
Yes, I was.
We love talking about shit on this podcast. We're kind of obsessed with it. Do you have a good shit story from your days as a plumber in Ireland?
Yeah, for me, I was just a first-year apprentice, so I was the guy that had to go and get everything or go to the shop and stuff like that. So I was just the go-getter.
So you avoided the shit.
Thankfully, I avoided the shit.
Now
yes.
you jump into the shit. Full force.
Yes.
You are kind of like the modern day Muhammad Ali. The way you have the gift of the gab.
I am myself. Muhammad Ali is a special individual. He is on his own. He changed culture. Period. I am my own man. I am here representing my country on the biggest fight platform there is, and that is it. But for people to say that, I take great pride in that. It is an honor to hear that, but I cannot lay claim to something like that.
Tell us, when you are in the octagon, what happens in Ireland? Does the entire country shut down?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Awesome.
We love to fight. We support our own. If one of our own is competing in any sport, in any craft in the world, we as Irish, we get behind our people, and it is no different for me when I step inside the octagon. They have my back 100%, and I am forever grateful.
Is it possible to let us into your mind when you enter the octagon, or maybe when you're walking to the octagon, what's going through your head? Because it just must be a level of excitement, nervousness, everything that most of us will never experience.
Yeah, it's definitely an experience that it's very hard to explain the experience. A lot of times it's different for each individual fight. Emotions are different for each individual fight. But for me, I feel I've got so comfortable in these situations that my mind is completely blank. I am calm when I walk in there. It almost is like a sigh of relief when I begin to make the walk. It's like, now I am here. Now I am here. This is why I do this. For this particular moment. So I like to embrace it. But my mind is calm. My thoughts are slow. And that is it.
So you can actually block out everything?
You know, it's important not to block out everything, because there is energy in the crowd. There's energy that you do, you know, you feed off of the crowd. But at the same time, you do not want to get full off of the crowd. So you must find a healthy balance, and through experience you gain that. Some don't, and some do, of course.
So you're going to have all the Irish fans travel with you, and then for Jose, all the Brazilian fans travel. So who's gonna win out? I feel like in the stands there might be more fights in the stands than in the octagon that night.
Yeah, I feel, you know, with alcohol and stuff, maybe there will be some Brazilian versus Ireland contests going on in the stands or around the strip, but I hope not, certainly. You know, I believe it will be a good atmosphere overall. You know, it will be a good energy, both countries colliding. The war will take place inside the octagon. But as far as who will win over who, I don't feel. Somebody asked me the other day, the chance for the Brazilians is Uva Morrer, which is you will die, and the chance for the Irish is there's only one Conor McGregor. These are like chants that ring through the arena every time. And the Brazilian journalist asked me, what do you think will happen when both fans collide? Like, what the sound will be like? And I said, the Brazilians will not even be heard.
Well, Jose said he guarantees he'll win. He says after studying your moves, he's guaranteeing a victory. When you hear something like that from an opponent like that, what does it make you think?
The mouth can speak certain things, but the eyes cannot. So when I look at him, I will definitely win.
Now at the weigh-in, Dana White has actually said you cannot, if you touch him, there's going to be hell to pay. Have you guys had an aside? Do you know what you're going to do at the weigh-in?
No, you know, I will take it as I go. Jose's coach rang crying, please, Dana, please, I beg you, keep Conor away from my son. So Dana called me, please, Conor, please, I beg you. So it's all good as long as he keeps he does not speak my name in vain. We are good. When they beg for mercy, there is no need to act upon it.
Now, your training camp, are you still based in Ireland, or have you moved to North America yet?
No, I am born, bred Irish. My home is Dublin, my team is Dublin, my gym is Dublin, Straight Blast Gym. And that is it. I am based in Ireland now. I will go home after this world tour. I will have maybe 8 weeks in Dublin with my team, with my coach, and then we will pack up. We will move. We'll have a nice house set up in Vegas. We're going to set up a gym. We're going to have a chef. We're going to have everything all set up, and we will relocate to Las Vegas to prepare for the climate and the time difference.
Now,
Right.
Dan is about to turn 40, and he's Irish-Canadian.
O'Toole.
So
Nice.
he wants maybe some tips when he goes to Dublin for the first time. Maybe you can give him a few travel tips, things he should do, things he shouldn't say to a nice Irish lass in Temple Bar.
You know, the Irish, we are friendly and we are accommodating. You will be welcomed with open arms. But if you piss one of us off, then there is nothing you can say. You must just run.
And I think all the O'Toole, there's a lot of O'Tooles in County Cork. I think that's where I have to go.
Maybe,
So.
yeah. Cork is a good city. Yeah, maybe you should head there. But
All right, July 11th, UFC 189. You against Jose Aldo. I wish you the best of luck. We can't wait to watch
you
it.
so much.
And pay-per-view numbers are going to be through the roof. I heard you say Pacquiao, Mayweather. Forget about it. You're going to approach those numbers.
I believe so. I mean, Pacquiao Mayweather is a phenomenal contest. I feel it should have happened 5 years ago, like many others feel. I just don't feel it has the same pop. I feel Manny has aged a little bit. Now, Manny is a legend, Floyd is a legend, but I feel the age and just Manny's KOs or KO losses, and it doesn't have the same pop for me. This is two men in their prime. This is supposedly the pound-for-pound featherweight king in Jose Aldo, and this is the pound-for-pound featherweight king in the notorious Conor McGregor, both meeting in their prime in the purest form of unarmed combat with no limitations. I see it being competitive.
Yeah, I think that's
and when
understatement.
When you win, do you say it in the ring again? We're rich again. I loved when you said that. Oh,
That's it. You know, I will head backstage and I will begin counting my favorite pastime.
Well, safe trip back to Ireland, and thanks for stopping by. Best of luck. I know it's been a long day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so
I
much.
appreciate
Thanks, Connor.
that.
Really
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Conor
Conor
McGregor,
McGregor.
everybody. Unbelievable.
Thank you.
Well done, sir.
awesome.
Take care, Connor. Thanks
Best of luck.
again.
Best of luck.
Because I have the smallest hands in all of the UFC. Like the extra small gloves, my 5 fingers fit in the 4 holes.
Wow.
I have tiny little hands, but I punch really hard. So I need to have a professional, perfect wrap every single time that I work out. I can't hit anything, or else I will break my hands in little pieces.
Right.
So the whole time I was in Bulgaria, I was just doing like wrestling and grappling and stuff like that. And I lost the calluses in my hands. So I came home and I had like 5 days to train before I left for Fast and Furious. So I was like, you know what, I was going to charge it. My first day, I had no calluses. All the skin came off of all my knuckles. And I was like, you know what, screw it. I only have 5 days. I'm home. I was going to keep plugging Neosporin on it and just keep punching on it. And like literally there was like a crater in my hand. Like I would look at it sideways and there was just a dip. And it was so deep that you can see like the balls of like your fat cells like in your hand.
Jeez.
And I was like, but I hadn't struck in so long. I was like, I have to do it anyway. And so it would heal and then open up and heal and open up. And that happened for all throughout the Misha camp, the McMahon camp, and the Alexis Davis camp. 3 camps in a row I was dealing with this. And I would just ignore it, you know. Like when Wolverine, he pulls out the spikes, and Rogue is like, "Oh, does it hurt?" And he goes, "Every time." Every
That's how you
time
felt?
I threw a right hand, every time you see a right hand touch anything while in those 3 camps, it hurt.
Wow.
Every single one of those times. And I remember turning to my coach before the Misha fight and being like, I know exactly where my knuckle hurts on this hand. And this is exactly the spot that I'm going to plant on her face. And it was in the 3rd round that she was outstanding. I dropped her with a straight right hand, but she was like out and staggering backward. So it was that one little knuckle.
You knew it. You called it.
Yeah. And
you called your shot.
But I was like, oh, it's fine. It's getting better. And then it was annoying for a while. So I was like, okay, after the Alexis Davis fight, I put things off. If you haven't realized, I put off surgery for my knee and the knuckle thing. So I had the knuckle thing scheduled for after the Alexis Davis fight. I've never once thrown a right hook in a match, like in a fight. And the first right hook I ever threw is like this crazy overhand right that knocks her out and just explodes my knuckle. And we got backstage and I was like, there's something up in my hand, and we're like leaving. I'm like giving people high fives on the way out, like woohoo! And we're taking off the wraps. It's just covered in blood. I can just see the cuts like hanging out of the wrap. I like literally totally split the whole thing. But the good thing is I split. It was like called a ganglion cyst, I guess. It was like pressing on my nerve.
That's actually a band I was in high school, Ganglion Cyst.
Ganglion cyst. Yeah. So anyway, it exploded, and it's not there anymore. And I have the coolest scar ever. I'm really proud of
pretty
it.
wicked, actually.
Yeah. The first thing I thought when I saw it, I was like, I can't wait to have some sort of movie role where they can zoom in on my hand and make it look super
or just a
gnarly.
fight poster, just have like right up
They
there.
can do wonders with fingers. One time, my dad was cutting a log with the chainsaw, and he's like, "Oh, everybody in the truck." We're like, "What happened?" And he hit a knot in the wood. Chainsaw popped back, so his finger was dangling off. Everyone had to pile into the truck while he drove to the hospital. They reattached it, and it's fine.
Yeah.
It was just dangling there.
You ever see the movie 4 Rooms?
4 rooms. Is
When
that-
they chop off the pinky on the end at the end with the Quentin Tarantino part.
oh, I've seen lots of pinkies chopped off in movies. It's never fun.
Oh, the whole thing was like, we'll just go put it back on. Don't worry. Like,
It's an easy fix.
it's easy fix. Finger on, finger off.
And that's been Fingers on the Jay and Dan.
Before we let you go, I want to know, what is the feeling like when you're walking to the octagon, place going nuts, you're like so zoned in?
That's such a good question because you're so sweet with it. You're so good with the media. You're great with us. You've been a great guest.
Thank you.
But you are so zoned in.
Like, do you hear the crowd going crazy,
It
or are you
is
just
crazy.
like in a tunnel vision?
It's like putting blinders on a horse. It's like I don't see and.
But who
anything.
taught you? Did someone teach you that, or was that just instinct? You always
I
have been
think
like
it's
that.
just from so many years of doing judo and competing in so many countries. Well, anytime I walked out for a fight, the whole place was booing me, like everywhere I went, and so I just blocked people out. I'm like, well, whatever. I'm sorry, I'm not finished. I just walk out, and
That should be your Twitter bio, by the way. Ronda Rousey. Sorry, I'm not finished.
well, I've fought in Finland before, and they were not fans of the Americans. We are not very popular anywhere, so I just had to blot everybody out. And boo is boo in every language. Just let you know that.
is.
In 30 different countries I've been to, boo is the same. Everyone just decided they had a global meeting. They're like, we don't like something, boo, and that is what we're going with.
That's a
and
good point.
That's I just learned to block it all out, even the cheers too.
Well, continued success. It's been amazing having you here. I know Expendables 3 is going to be huge, and you said you want to be a bigger box office star than The Rock, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen, right?
Well, I'm competitive, but with good spirit.
You didn't want to compete with Jerry Ferrara. You were like, go right to The Rock. Go right to number one.
No. My coach has a great saying. He says, "Be jealous, but be kind." And so it's
I
to
like that.
take whatever people have that you want and use that to motivate you, and not to resent them.
That's a good point.
And
Dan,
now you get
that's
to
good for you.
continue your journey through, they call it the car wash, where you stop here, then you have to stop on our Fox Sports Live show. So have fun with that.
Yeah, have a
Thank
great
you,
time.
thank you. I appreciate that. My car will be squeaky clean by the end of the day.
Thank you, Ronda Rousey.
problem.
Ronda
You guys,
Rousey.
bye.
You're awesome. Lovely to meet you.
Best
There
of
we
luck. It's
go.
going to be a box office
Huge.
explosion.
Big thing,
Yes.
right.
Do you? I hate to bring up GSP, but you know
okay.
we have to do it. Are you in contact with him? Have you been talking to him? Is there any chance we see GSP back in the octagon?
I talked to
someday?
him. I offered him a fight in Montreal, and he said, "I'm not ready yet." I'm on the fence. I'm leaning toward he's not coming back. These
Really?
days. Yeah.
Was he simply just worn out?
No, he's rich, you know.
Yeah, but so are you, and you're going all over the
but,
world.
you know, I'm not done yet. I still got a lot of things that need to be done. He's rich and really doesn't have to do anything anymore if he doesn't
Right.
want to. You know, he's filming some movies. From what I hear, I hope I'm able to say this or
Just say it. This is where we break all the
he
news.
he is the the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie Kickboxer.
Yeah.
They're remaking it with him.
Shut
so
up.
yeah.
That's awesome.
So he's filming that, and he's doing some fun stuff. I was in LA one day at night, and I went to the Clippers game. George St. Pierre sitting right over there in the front row. I went out one night to a concert. There's George St. Pierre in the front row.
Hanging out.
Listen, fighting is one of those sports that you got to be hungry and you got to want it and you got to he hasn't been hungry in a long time. For a lot of things and. He, like I said, he's got a lot of money. He's young. He's got a lot of other options, and he's going out on top. So
Yeah.
I'm not announcing George St. Pierre's retirement here.
I think Dana White on the Jay and Dan podcast has just announced GSP's retirement.
So we're on the subject of Canada. You know how much they love UFC in Canada.
Yeah.
When are they going to get a big card? Do you have anything on the horizon where you're like, okay, we're looking in this area in this time frame?
Well, we're in Montreal, and we have we had 2 title fights. Dillashaw just fell off. Dillashaw Barao was going to be there, and he just broke his rib. So now it's Mighty Mouse is fighting. And Rampage Jackson is on the card. Mike Bisping is on the card. So we have a good card up in Montreal right now. I owe a really good card to Calgary.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm working on that.
That would be amazing. I feel like out west they need to do it. Ronda Rousey, we have to talk about Ronda. She's headlining UFC 190 in Brazil. Is that right? Yeah. You work. I mean, she's in Furious 7. She's in the new Entourage movie. She was in Expendables 3.
And Warner Brothers just bought a book series. You know, like Twilight or something like that. You know what I mean? Like a book series to make with Ronda.
Right.
Wow.
And so she's fighting like she just beat Kat. Now she's fighting again against Betch. Like, do you worry a little bit about? I mean, she's not you. She can't travel the world and just have unlimited energy like Dana White does.
She actually is me, and she can do that. She was with me in Rio because we just announced that fight. Then she flew from there to New York, where she did The View, the Jimmy Fallon show. She's doing an ESPN. Can you say that?
We don't talk about it. We don't talk about that.
She's doing a car wash at ESPN. Sorry, guys. And she flew up to Albany, New York, and is up there right now battling with the legislature to get this. She met with the mayor, not the mayor, the governor. She met with the governor of New York. You know, Ronda Rousey can do it all. She goes everywhere. She does anything. She's amazing.
Is she the biggest star in the sport right now?
There's no doubt about it. Wow.
So you mentioned all these things she's doing. Do you not kind of see what happened to GSP and how he made all this money and maybe worked too much and now he's done? Do you see that happening to her? Do you have that fear?
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You're supposed to work your ass off, become filthy rich, and then quit and go do something else. I wish that for my people. I don't, you know, today Brock Lesnar just announced that he's going to do his last deal with the WWE and he's going to put, you know, MMA in the rearview mirror. And everybody's hitting me up asking me how I feel. I'm happy for him. Good for him. It's good for him. It's good for his family. And this is one of those sports where, man, you got to be hungry. Like, you got to want it so bad. This isn't baseball. I mean, no disrespect to baseball or baseball players, but let me tell you what. One of my best friends that I grew up with is a baseball player. These guys like party the night before a game. You know, these guys go out, they hang out, and they go out and play baseball. This is not baseball. This is not basketball. This is not these other sports, man. These guys, you look at Jose Aldo and Conor McGregor, right? Conor McGregor is that young, talented, hungry guy in his prime that wants that belt so bad because that belt opens a lot of doors. And that has to be your mindset, that has to be your personality, and that has to be your drive 24/7. And if that's not it, you don't belong here.
Does Conor talk too much for your liking?
No, I mean, everybody's different. You know, some guys talk a lot, some guys don't say anything. All I care about is that you fight when you get in that octagon, and Conor does that for sure.
This is the biggest fight in the UFC since...
This is the biggest featherweight fight ever in history, and I believe this is going to be the biggest fight this year.
Do you love how Pacquiao-Mayweather's finally happened? It's probably 6 years after everyone wanted it to happen.
True.
Meanwhile, you got these two superstars at the peak of their... I mean, this is great for you guys.
There's nothing better than when two of the best in the world in their prime, fighting for it all. I mean, that's what this sport's really all about.
July 11th, load up on the pay-per-views. Conor said something that I thought was pretty funny, but maybe you agree with them, that he thinks the pay-per-view numbers for UFC 189 are going to approach Mayweather-Pacquiao. When he says things like that, you have to answer to that kind of stuff.
He's an optimistic guy. I like it. I like where his head's at. I hope he's right on that one. But this is definitely going to be the biggest fight for us this year, I think. And that's saying a lot. I mean, John Jones fought Cormier. It was a great pay-per-view for us. Diaz and Silva did great. Ronda Rousey's last fight almost beat Silva Diaz. And now these guys are going to go. And we still got John Jones and Anthony Johnson. And we got Weidman versus Vitor Belfort.
Yeah.
So it's a good year. And we had a horrible year last year. Everybody got injured. Couldn't have been worse. This first quarter is the best first quarter in the history of the company. And that's saying a lot.
And you're on Fox, you're on Fox Sports 1, and we love having you. We love being associated with you, and it's great to finally have you on the podcast.
Thank you.
Man.
It's great to be here.
Thanks for coming on. And
cool.
And what are you going to do now? What happens tonight? What does Dana do tonight?
So I'm leaving here. I'm jumping on a plane. I'm flying to Boston. I'm going to land at 3 a.m.
Jesus.
We got it worked out for the gym to stay open. I'm going to work out, and then I'm going to do my day and then jump on the plane and go to New York.
Unreal. Well, listen, I love your energy. I love the fact that you stopped by to see us, and maybe we'll see you again sometime hanging out.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
Okay. Dana White.
What a guy.
What a guy.